morning. Good morning. Good morning in the morning.
I was trying to replicate the music when you said, how do we start?
Yes, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much, Shell. Hi. I'm just enjoying my coffee. It's 10:50 in the morning here in Luxembourg.
And it is 10 to 9 in the evening here in Christchurch, New Zealand.
Yeah.
And it's a public holiday today.
It's a special day. Why?
Today is what we call Anzac Day, which stands for Australian New Zealand Army Corps, and it's a day when we remember those who have served. Mostly it sort of started with World War One, World War Two recognition, but now any returned servicemen, regardless of what war they were in and how they served, are recognised. And for me, it was about reflecting on my ancestors, particularly, and reflecting on the places I've been that have been places of battle for New Zealanders when I was fortunate enough to be in Europe and Turkey, and be with my family and talk about the memories of those who are no longer with us. So we had a public holiday today, and I don't know if this will actually show up or not, but oh, yep, this is a little sparkly poppy, which I wear.
Oh, that's the puppy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
With excitement as she dropped it. And yeah, the poppy is what we use to represent Anzac Day. So they sell them to put on your lapel on here with a pin, and the money goes towards the Returned Servicemen's Association.
Mhm.
So yeah, so we had a day off today, so it's been reflective and special to be with family. So
You've
but
been with your dad, right?
yeah, but we talked about your dad.
Okay.
Because Dad said to me, what are you up to tonight? And I said, I'm talking to Luxembourg. And he goes, really? I said, yeah, we do this podcast thing. So obviously I haven't sent him the link so far. Oops. And I was telling him how I spent, a wonderful week with you and your family when I came over. And I was saying about your dad and that he was one of the best patisserie chefs in Luxembourg.
Oh, he will be pleased when he's looking the video afterwards.
And yeah, no, Dad was really delighted at the connection, but he wanted to know what languages you spoke. And I said Luxembourgish, French, German. I forgot about the English. And he said, is she good at them? I said, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
more or
funny.
less.
More or less you get by. So yeah.
Sometimes
So that
looking
was
for the words, for the right words, but well, I try my best.
but no,
Great.
well, I think between us we do good. My French is rusty, my German is even worse.
You have
But
German in school, right?
I chose it, but I had to do
Okay.
it by correspondence because nobody else was doing it.
Hmm.
And then I did Spanish later on outside school, but I did it to school, the highest school level I could go. So um, I always remember a friend from Holland. I don't know if it's a Dutch word. She had a word to describe somebody that has a knack for languages, like knobbelen or something that's sort of a Germany Dutchy word. I don't know, that to do with, yeah, someone who has a thing. Like
Hmm.
I find languages easy to learn, but then I haven't tried languages that are non, say, Germanic or Latin. So I can't say that languages are easy to learn per se, but
It's always a nice language, a nice thing to learn a language which doesn't sound familiar to other ones, you know.
well,
Mm.
it's that communication thing,
Mhm.
and that connects us with other people, which is a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah, talking about connection, I just like got a mail from dear Jamie just before to send our website and a picture because he's doing like a kind of um, web page with all of us, which is really nice. I love the connection. I love the share modus we are in. I have done this on my website as well to put a link with all the other lovely people who are, yeah, sharing their goal to the world, if you want to say it like
Yeah.
that. Mm.
Yeah, well, on the Jamie connection, um, which really comes back to you and I and how we met. This has led us to coming out and sharing our wee gifts with chatting to people around the flow, around the well-being side of things. And I'm really excited between us, the gathering of guests that we've got lined up in months to come, and how everybody's embraced our invite. And yeah, just feeling really fortunate, even if someone can't perhaps, come in the next fortnight. They've said, yeah, get back to me towards the end of summer, as in the European summer. Um, so yeah, just really excited and positive about what we've got ahead. But today you've got Michelle and I, and we thought that we would talk a little bit about a couple of things that are special for us. Um, I would love to share a little poem today called The Guest House by Rumi. That's what I'd like to do a little reading of. And I'm going to share with you about what I think was my best ever manifesting, um, which I'll go over shortly. And you, Michelle, after I've gone into
I
the
want to
poem.
dive in a little bit in the fear mongering around at the moment, how we can observe special things around, how we can pull ourselves out there, and maybe with a little meditation, a little breathwork meditation in the end to participate if you are not driving a car or operating heavy machines. So, yeah, let's go. Let's dive in.
That'd be lovely. We're in the blue today as well.
Yeah,
Mm. Okay, so I'd love to start with a favorite little reading of mine. Oh, not of mine, but it's by the great um, 13th century Sufi poet Rumi, and it's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Thanks, Rumi.
beautiful.
Leave you to reflect on that one, folks, but definitely a favorite. And there's actually also a beautiful track on Spotify that's done to music with that as well. That's a wee favorite of mine too.
Mm. It reflects in beautiful worlds, in beautiful words, everything. what's happening around. If you are open for it, I believe. Because talking about the guests coming in and out, having different perspectives, having different views, it's,
Mm.
yeah, about being open to it, soak it in, take what resonates, as I always say, and don't take anything personally as well.
Yeah, it's a great one. That's like a four agreements.
Hmm.
Another wonderful piece of literature and guidance. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'd love to just share a little manifesting story with you because I think it's pretty cool. And you'll get to see a few images in this recording that relate to the story. So it was probably about 2005, and just with my situation and things, I was living in a little place and I was dreaming of when I would have my next holiday. Now, I'm a postcard collector. It's one of my little hobbies, and I have people give me postcards all the time. I've been given this postcard of Bali, and I had been to Bali before, but it had been quite a long time since I'd been, and I stuck the postcard on my fridge, which personally I think the fridge is quite a good place for manifesting because you do actually see things all the time, particularly if you're heading for cheese like I do. And and so you're seeing it all the time. It's coming at you. So I had this postcard for Bali, which was quite distinct. It showed the beach at Sanua and the palm trees, and it showed this beautiful swimming pool with a distinct mosaic pattern on it. And it looked very, very nice. So I've had that up there. Anyway, 3 years later, I'm going to Bali on an advanced meditation course, a silent retreat for 6 days. And I'm going to meet the famous humanitarian Sri Sri Ravi Shankar as part of the Art of Living Foundation, which I'm part of. And so, apart from a few teachers and other people from New Zealand that are in the course, I don't know anybody else. And I end up in a room with somebody from Australia who coincidentally our fathers ended up being the same year at a high school in my city, which was incredible. But then we went into silence, so there was not much else to say, etc., etc. We finished the retreat with one night to go, and we got moved. We got moved from a bottom floor unit to several stories high on the last night, and we were in our room looking out, and we could see Sri Sri Ravi Shankar in all his white robes flowing, looking out to sea with his sunglasses, and he just turned around and he looked at us on our balcony and waved, and we were like, oh. We just thought it was, the whole fan thing. He gave us a wave, which was pretty cool. And then I looked down. Now, I could only have seen this by being up high. The pool, with all its mosaics, matched the one that was on my postcard. So that was incredible. I actually ended up in the exact hotel and it wasn't even named on the postcard. 3 years later. So that's my little special story of a visualization coming true, and obviously a rich experience for meeting him and many others, and the days of yoga and meditation, etc., and doing silent retreats. So one of my best manifestations ever. But in fact, I find, the synchronicities happen just all the time, and I take great delight in them. And yeah, I find a lot of the people that I'm surrounded with are also the same. We can talk about them with great comfort without it being weird or woo-woo or
Too.
whatever.
But that shocks me a little now because I have a picture with a huge on the fridge, drawn out of flowers, but it's still the words. So, drawn out of flowers by my daughter. I think I have to switch the word because thoughts create reality. So heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was just a little story that I wanted to share. And postcards actually are a great thing. They're something that we actually do less and less.
Hmm.
Even getting stamps on mail is rare these days. You get automated stickers and everything else. But the one thing I love about the postcards, which is a hobby, and I mean, a hobby is a great well-being thing if you've got
Yeah.
some little interest. It doesn't matter what it is. If it gives you some joy and it gives you some interest, then it's a great thing. Now, with the postcards, you don't look at the back of the postcard and the person's written, "Dear John, I'm having such a shit day." People actually write, "I'm having a lovely time," or "I'm thinking of you," and they're actually really positive. So even reflect, I don't like go through all the ones I've got just to read positive messages, but they are snapshots of people at a point in time, mostly sharing how it is with one another and connecting. And it's that connection again that is something fundamental for us as humans.
Yeah. It's the same with the pen friends in school back then. We got a list from different countries with addresses where we can write letters. And yeah, that was so much fun. And I'm still in contact with some of those, uh, which I corresponded back then.
Yeah, I'm only probably in contact with one from Finland, from when I was young. But as I think I've mentioned to you before, there was one in Luxembourg.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm sure I'll probably do some more digging around and we'll find her someday.
probably. If you put the picture on the fridge, it will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so nice.
So,
Yeah, thoughts create reality. That's huge at the moment, and I'm a little scared how fast this goes. It's a different kind of energy like that. But if we are talking about manifestation, beautiful things, we have also to look at the other side because thoughts also can do a lot of damage, right?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, especially when we are talking about the fear mongering around. Um, Thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body, actually. And what you think and what you feel determines as well your mood. For example, when you have a thought or a memory, a biochemical reaction takes place in your brain, and that triggers chemical signals. And these chemicals cause your body to feel exactly as you thought, right? As soon as you realize that you feel a certain way, you generate more thoughts that correspond to your feelings and then release more chemicals in your brain to make you feel the way you thought. In other words, you have conditioned your body to a state of fear, for example, which is everywhere around at the moment. And it's a fact that when you live in fear, you're basically living in a survival mode where the sympathetic nervous system is on high alert, ready to act, ready to run, ready to survive. When we live with those stress hormones, we also tend to narrow our focus. When, for example, cortisol and adrenaline are pumping through our bodies, we tend to live on a high alert, and our brains become hyper vigilant, trying to predict, to control, to face and force outcomes to increase our chances of that survival. And when we are scared, we are driven by our fight flight mode, which constantly leads us to make fear-based decisions as well. Not the fear you feel like now when you met a spider, but there are other fears who are even deeper, and that's judgment, harassment, or lack, or disappointment, even fear of success, or fear of speaking your truth, for example. And these fears stop us from making new decisions in our life. This is because the ultimate fear that all humans carry as a primordial fear is the fear of the unknown. And when your brain is aroused and living in that survival mode, you tend to focus on your attention very, very quickly on things on your outside world. For example, text messages, Facebook, Insta, job, husbands, children, TV, news, shopping. You don't turn your focus inwards, what's really happening inside. So what's happening? You are constantly seeking attraction for your mind. You become mentally blind and stupid, if I might say it like that. The attention span sinks to a pathologically low level, and that makes you, of course, feel unsatisfied, empty, and internally heavy as well. On top of that, you become intolerant of relationships, for example, and also commitment. So to change the way we think and feel, I believe we also have to change our lifestyle. However, it's not a typical lifestyle prescription of diet, for example, or exercise or stress reduction, but mainly a daily commitment to reprogram our brain and our heart, to switch the body to a new state of mind, making yourself aware of the thoughts that you have and that are causing like the feelings, and you can change them. You don't need to stay in that state, because as much as you can create positive thoughts, positive feelings, positive things happening in your life, as much you can create as well the negative thoughts, the negative side of it. I don't want to go in deeper then, because there are so many ways to do damage on that base. Yeah, making yourself aware of the thoughts is a thing what becomes a lifestyle in my life, or a ritual when you want, to become aware moment by moment of the actions and behaviors as well that followed the thoughts and the feelings, and change them too, because you can always go back, think about different things, how you felt back then, and then write it down, maybe getting the puzzle, seeing the bigger picture, which is really interesting as well.
Yeah. And it's that switch too of being aware of the negative dialoguing that goes on that can dominate, but actually switching into the positive about the good things you've done or achieved, for example, and then running the script with the statements that are the winning ones that you want.
I had such an interesting discussion with my daughter yesterday. I would love to bring that in. And she came to me and she said, like, "Mommy, what would you do if someone told you that you are ugly?" And I said, well, my first impulse was like, who did that? Who did that? Who told you that? And she said, no, no, no. Nobody told that. But how would you react? And I said, well, okay, I probably would react by saying, okay, that's not my point of view, because maybe I have an opinion of finding someone beautiful or someone not, but it's my personal opinion. Maybe other people have a different opinion, so that doesn't touch me personally. It's just your opinion, you know? And then, yeah, that feeling of not taking it personally is a huge relief. Otherwise, then diving into that, oh my God, he said I was ugly. Oh my God, I'm ugly. I have to do something. I have to change something. I'm not good enough, And all those negative mind talks come in, destroying a lot of things.
Mm.
And if you observe those thoughts, you can manage them as well. They don't need to explode or bring you in a low frequency that you can't cope with your day, or
No, and I think it's that catching yourself out almost,
Mhm.
and getting used to that you can catch yourself out, and being really, giving yourself a good pat on the back that you are observing, like you say. I mean, that's the great thing. It's when you don't have the awareness, it's that much harder to change, of course.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, let's wrap it up today with a little meditation. If you are not driving the car or operating heavy machinery, so get yourself a little bit comfortable, sit back and relax. Let go of everything what has bothered you today, and take a few minutes for yourself if you want. And we are going to try to change the focus today with a light and comfortable breath work, which you can do everywhere and every time, because people wouldn't even notice it, right? So switch your focus from your brain, from your thoughts, don't judge them, just let them go, to your heart space. You can even put your hand or your palm on your heart space, because when you touch that part of your body, your brain automatically focuses on there. And then you just start to breathe slower than usual, right? Nicely through your nose. You can count on a 4 to breathe in, and on a 6 to breathe out. And you keep going in that rhythm if that's comfortable for you, without making pauses in between breathing in and breathing out. And it's also a very powerful technique to use when you feel like overwhelmed by the events of the day, or when you simply want to be more connected to yourself. And as I said, you can do it everywhere, on the bus, in the office for a few moments. Because when you slow down your breathing, you are signaling to your body in general, in particular your heart, that you are in a safe place, and then it's okay to turn your attention inwards. When you slow breathing, your brain feels safe. And now I want you to activate, with that breathing, a positive feeling. For example, gratitude, someone lovely in your life, caring for someone, or a very easy way to do this is to think of a beautiful place where you've been, a very close friend. And keep breathing, because the key to this step is to create a feeling as best as you can and embrace that feeling. That feeling, even if you visualize it, feel it as it was real. Because sustaining that feeling maintains an optimal communication between your heart and your brain. And you can also maintain this connection from your heart and your brain for longer periods of time. The key is to slow down your breath and to create that inner feeling. So finding this inner peace and balance will be something you can cultivate whenever you want, allowing you to be more resilient when circumstances in your life become more challenging and stressful. And you can practice this technique anytime you get in such a state of mind. You can come back slowly now, opening your eyes, getting back to the room. Maybe you notice already that you feel a little relieved. Stress is gone. Feel calmer in your body. Yeah, the problem is not that your mind creates a million of thoughts. I believe the issue is that it generates useless thoughts, like junk in and trash out, and we have to change the input. The output will then change automatically. So kind of take over the program of ourselves.
And you highlighted that importance, of the heart and the coherence as well, which we're keen to deep dive into further in another episode.
Yeah,
that was a beautifully led little mini meditation breathwork. Thanks, Michele. Just love your voice. It's always
pleasure.
so calming. It's putting me in the perfect space to be ready for the nest later, not too far away.
Yeah, I mean, in the midst of all daily challenges we have and all the difficulties around, we sometimes forget what is really important to us. And often these challenges are so demanding that we get caught up in the coldness of the world, or we also begin to numb our own hearts, which is really sad. And if we are not careful, we will be entangled in humanity, if you want, with unnecessary discussions, and we see it all around, which is not very good when we neglect our common sense. And it's not too late, so we can always change course and make human difference. We can remind each other that we are all part of some humankind, and that we can be stronger together. Actually, let's break down the walls of indifference and start focusing on what's really, really important to all of us. Let's also stop being disrespectful to each other and instead recognize the value of each person, because only when we respect each other, we can also create a world in which everyone can realize their full summit, their full potential.
Beautifully said, as always. Thanks, Michele.
Thank you, Shell. And see you the next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody out there.
For tuning in. Yeah, we really appreciate your support.
Yeah.
And
if you want to support us even more, you can click the like button, the subscribe button. You can share our podcast everywhere, and you also can support us if you want to make a donation. If you can, if you don't, it's all good. We will be back the next time. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.